Hello and welcome back to my channel. Welcome to a brand new video. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Amelia and I upload book videos, reading vlogs, weekly vlogs. Kind of that's my vibe. I'm more of a booktuber than you'll get. No, I'm joking. I'm not more than I am just a booktuber more than anything else because I love reading and I feel like that is my niche now on my YouTube. So it just makes sense to do that. Does that make sense? But if you do enjoy book content, reading vlogs, then please give it a thumbs up, please comment down below, please subscribe to my channel, and please follow my social medias, they all link down below, and hopefully it'll pop up somewhere maybe, I can't guarantee, we'll see, always on the screen whilst watching the video. But without further ado, let's just get on with it, because again, like the last time I filmed this video, I'm on a time scale of 20 minutes this time. Instead of 15. So yeah, let's get on with it. Okay, so for this video, if you couldn't guess from the title, I am doing my March wrap up and my April hopefuls. I'm a bit apprehensive with my April hopefuls, I will be honest with you, mainly because there's more books than I probably think I probably will be able to read. Also, but I am planning to do 24 hours of reading within April, so it makes sense. But we'll get on to the April hopefuls, after we talk about what I read in March. So I actually did read 5 books technically in March, but one of them I already edited into the last reading wrap up because I finished it at the beginning of March, so it just made sense for me to leave it at the beginning of in that video and not put it in this one. But we all know I read Daisy Jones and the Six at the beginning of the month because I absolutely wanted to reread it, because I absolutely loved it and I wanted to reread it before the series came out. And now I've watched the series and I'm just obsessed and I love it and I want to reread it for a third time. It's that bad. Like, my addiction to Daisy Jones and the Six is kind of like, it's something else. I don't know what it is in that book, but in that first series, but there's something in it. But yeah, so then I did another book I reread. I did all the books actually are all in reading vlogs, although two of them haven't been uploaded as of yet. So when you're seeing this video, it's prior to seeing these vlogs. So actually, you're gonna get my thoughts before you see those vlogs, but you'll still get to enjoy the vlogs. So the first one is I reread Reminders of Him for a video that is actually up, just like because I wanted to annotate it, and I wanted to tab it, so I did, and like, oh, look at all those tabs. I reread this book. This book is about Kenna and Ledger and Kenna's ex-boyfriend who died, Scotty, and her child DM, well, their child DM, and the story goes between Kenna trying to fight for custody now she's out of prison. Well, not fight for custody, but trying to get a chance to see her daughter. Whilst you've got Scotty's parents who don't want her to see her daughter, who have sole custody of DM. And then you've got Ledger, who is kind of in the middle when you get through the book. At first, he meets Kenna, she introduces herself as Nicole, and, you know, they start a little thing. And then he finds out who she is and hits the roof. And as the book goes forward, their relationship evolves, and then he's in the middle of trying to decide what's best. But I still think it's a really good book, it's a really cute book, but I did drop my rating to a 4.5 star. It was a 5-star read last year when I first read it, but I think since then I've read so many other good books that this went down to a 4.5 star. It just didn't hit me as much as the last time I read it was, so yeah, this is one of the ones that, as much as I said I wished I could have read it again, I don't think I'll be reading it again for a very long time. If I do, then yeah, but I love this book. It's still a good book, just not as high of a ranking as it was. Like, if I was really disappointed with it, it would have got a lower rating, so it got like knocked off by 0.5, so not that bad. The next one is Kingdom of the Cursed by Kerry Maniscalco. This is the second book in the Kingdom of the Wicked series. It is a trilogy. This one follows the story of Amelia, who is a witch who is trying to find out what happened to her sister Victoria, and she summons in the first book the Prince of Wrath. She meets a few of the princes of the Kingdom of the Wicked, so Prince of Wrath, Prince of Envy, Prince of Greed, Prince of Pride. I don't think she meets him, but yeah. Anyway, she meets Wrath and they kind of go on this journey together. And I loved this book. The story in this book it was so good. I think now that you know a bit more of the story, you're still getting to know the realm because she's now in hell rather than on Earth in Italy with her family. So you see it's so different to the original series, which is the first book, but it's such a good finding out the realm, finding out the story, seeing Amelia change, and has the journey with her and Wrath. I love, like the back and forthness, the banter, the cuteness. It's kind of like an enemies to lovers romance. I see cobwebs. That's really not something you needed to hear, that I need to get rid of, but yeah, that's fine. But I gave this book, I need to double check this. How do I get my phone? I gave it a 4.5 star. Sorry, I had to figure that one out. I thought it was, but I wasn't sure. I gave Kingdom of the Cursed 4.5 because it was so good. I think that was similar to what I gave Kingdom of the Wicked. Like, I don't think it wasn't worth 5 stars to me. I'm hoping the last one will be. But it was so good. Like, it did have me gripped. And for a fantasy book, that's a really good rating because I am not a fantasy reader, or I didn't think I was. And it's more of a easy fantasy. It's not a hard fantasy. It's an easy fantasy to get into. So if you're looking to get into fantasy but you're not a fantasy reader, I definitely recommend this series because it's just such an easy read. It's like an easy fantasy read. I just find it very easy. I love it. So 4.5 star. Then for a specific reading vlog that I finished this weekend, I read Addicted to You by Krista and Becca Ritchie. Now technically I did read it before. I read it. I listened to it on Audible, and don't get me wrong, I enjoyed listening to it. It just wasn't the same. I preferred reading it. Now don't get me wrong, I didn't tab as much as I had hoped to, but I still tabbed it. This book was good. It was a good introduction to the Addicted series, and it did make me buy the last 3 books of the series, so even though I already had the first 7, so technically it didn't make a difference. But this book follows Lily and Lo. Lily is a sex addict and Lo is an alcoholic, and it's them battling their addictions together, and I think it's good, and I think the ending was really good. Like, I do really enjoy the story, and I'm excited to see what happens next. I'm excited to read Ricochet. It's not on my list of my April hopefuls, although it could possibly be one of the ones I've put in the 24-hour reading, because it is kind of a thin book, and it would be easy to get through. So I think I might add that to it, but that is not on my April hopefuls, just saying. But yeah, so I really like this book. I gave it a 3.5 star, really good start to a series, just not my favourite book I've read. It didn't really like entice me. I wasn't like overwhelmed by it, but yeah. And we're in another reading wrap up where I got another 5-star read. Can we just say that this year I'm very easy to give 5 stars out, so I'm not going to say I haven't given a 5-star out, but I am trying to be more critical with the reasons why, with the ratings I give it. I'll give books, but this book just has me in a chokehold to the point where I can't stop thinking about it. I literally can't, and I cannot wait to read more of this series. But it is Magnolia Parks. I read this again for the reading vlog that will be up soon, and look at all that tabbing. Like, I genuinely tabbed this book. Like, I went all out with this book. I loved it. Magnolia Parks. I gave this 5 stars, hands down. This is a story about BJ Valentine and Magnolia Parks, and they have a very toxic relationship. That he cheated on her. She dates around to hurt him, and he sleeps around to hurt her, and it's so toxic. And I did not see what happened at the end happen, and I was like, oh my god. Like, it got so cute, and I was like, how can anything go wrong now? And then suddenly the big thing came out, and I knew it was going to happen at the end. They were going to have to say at the end what happened and who BJ cheated on her with. However, I didn't expect to. I absolutely love this book. Worth 5 stars. Definitely, if you have not read the Magnolia Parks book, read it. It's so good. I love the way it's written. I just think I felt more in grip. It felt like it was, and I do agree with this when people kind of refer it to Gossip Girl and Chuck and Blair. That is what I see in this, and I loved it. It is basically Gossip Girl but in London. So yes. And there is 3 more books in the series. At the moment, I think it's an ongoing series. I think there's more to come. But we've got Daisy Hates, then Magnolia Parks The Long Way Home, and then The Undoing of Daisy Hates. The Great Undoing. Daisy Hates. But I'm very excited to read all of them. I will be reading Daisy Hates soon. Maybe that'll be another one that's not in my April hopeful, because I'm trying to do other ones, not just that series. But I'll probably end up reading one of them for the 24 hours reading, because why not? Because I love that series. But yeah, that is my wrap up of March. Only 4 books, which isn't as much as February, when I read like 7. But I did do 24 hours of reading in that one, so that kind of helped. So we are now going into my April hopefuls. I have started filming a video where my favourite booktubers choose my next read. So there is a possibility when I do that video that some of the books that are on there might not get picked. But I might not even put them to them because it depends who else I ask. I've only asked one person so far because I started reading that book. So we're going to start with the first one, which is the one I know I'm definitely going to read this month, and that is Things We Never Got Over by Lucy Score. I've only read one chapter so far because I haven't had the energy to read recently. Yesterday, but yesterday, finished rehearsals, didn't have the effort to read. Sunday night I read one chapter but was very tired, so I didn't read any more. But here I'm going to try and read at least a chapter or two tonight, and take it with me to work tomorrow. But this is Things We Never Got Over. It's quite a thick, chunky book, but I'm excited to give it a read. I've heard so many good things about it. It's about Naomi and Knox, and from what I'm getting, Naomi has a twin sister who is caused trouble in the town. I'm thinking it's a small town romance, but Grumpy Sunshine. I'm excited to give it a read and actually see more in it. So, yeah. Then the next one's on my list, and some of these, it depends who I ask, again, for my BookTube one, because I'm not sure who I'm asking, so these might not get picked for BookTube, but I'm hoping at least one or two of them I'll pick up during the month as well. Like I said, I'm doing 24-hour reading Easter weekend, so that will help. But anyway, hopefully this one I'm hoping to do my 24-hour reading because I read Hooked in my 24-hour reading last time, which didn't make it 24. It was more like a weekend of reading. Absolutely loved Hooked. It was so good, and that's why I managed to read it, because I just was like reading. So this just felt like the perfect one to put in this one. It's Scarred by Emily McIntyre. This is the one about Lion King. Had to figure that one out. It's literally about Scar and Nala, I think is the name. Maybe not. I don't know. But it's about Scar, and you are following the story of Scar, who you're going to be rooting for in a book that is when you would never root for Scar. Like, if you've watched Lion King, and I love Lion King, it's one of my favourite films. Yeah. So Scarred is definitely one of the ones I want to read this month. Well, next month when you're watching this. Well, it depends when you're watching it. Hold on. Then we've got Twisted Games by Anna Hung. I don't know if I'm going to get to this one because I think this is going to be one of the ones that I do put to a get the option to a booktuber, and it depends if they choose it. And if I do who I think I'm going to choose for this one, it's going to be with Scarred, and I finish it's going to choose Scarred. But anyway, the 24 hours of reading is going to be different to that one, so it's fine. But Twisted Hate, not Twisted Games, Twisted Hate is one I really want to read because I do love the Twisted series. I've read the first two, and I'm really enjoying the series, and I really want to read another one of the series. So this is the third one. This follows Josh and Jules. Jules is Ava's best friend, and Josh is Ava's brother. So it's kind of like, it's going to be intrigued to see what this one's going to be like, considering the last two books have had me in a chokehold. Especially the second one. Like, Twisted Games was by far the best book of the Twisted series so far. The next one I want to read this month is The X Talk. Again, this is probably going to be for 24 hours of reading because it's quite thin. It's not thick enough for me to get. It'll be quick to get through. And I just want to get through. I want to try and read it. I've had it on my TBR for a while now, and obviously, as you can see, I've been saying, and you should probably have seen, I've bought a load more books recently. So I need to get through some of the old books. So this is another one I really want to read this in April. This is about two people who I'm taking are broken up, and their podcasts. They have a podcast. So I'm intrigued to see what this is like. I love the cover, it's really cute. And one of my favourite booktubers read it and said she didn't like it that much, so I'm a bit concerned and not sure if I'm going to like it, but we'll see. The next one is a very thick book, but I really want to get to it, so we'll see. It is A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas. This is why I'm saying my April TBR is, or April hopefuls are very optimistic. Because I do not think I'm going to have the time to do all of these books. However, here's the hoping I will, because I really want to get through this book. This is the second one in the Akatar series. And why does this look darker than I thought it was? Anyway, I really enjoyed the first one, and I really want to see more. I also need to know what's going to happen with Rhysand, and with her, and with Feyre and Tamlin. I just need to know. So I can't wait to give this a read. Bit chunky, but yeah. And then finally is, because I really want to finish this book, and I will choose this over Akamath. Akamath, however you say it, I will choose this one over because I want to finish the series. Is a Kingdom of the Feared. As I mentioned in my March wrap up, I read Kingdom of the Cursed, so obviously I want to know what happens next, because it left on such a good ending. I cannot wait to give this a read. I want to know what's going to happen, because the end. I'm not going to spoil Kingdom of the Cursed, because if I really want to read it, I don't want to give it away. But the ending was left so I want to know what happened, that I really want to give this a read, and I cannot wait to give this a read. And I just hate that it's hardback, but that is on my TBR for this month, or April. So yes. Anyway, this is probably a bit of an all shine for shambles wrap up and hopefuls, but I do hope you enjoy it. Please give it a thumbs up, please comment down below, please subscribe, and I will see you again soon with another video.